Hello everyone, and welcome to our geology presentation about the Bay Area. In this video, we will be exploring everything that we have learned in the past 3 weeks of our geology immersion. We have visited these SF locations and found these rocks. But first, before we can talk about these rocks, let's get into what the three main categories for rocks are. So, the first one is metamorphic, and metamorphic rocks are formed under the surface of the earth from the change that occurs due to the intense heat and pressure. Sedimentary rocks are rocks that happen when little sediments gather together and combine layers that contain fossils, pebbles, sand, shells, and other fragments. Igneous rocks are formed when magma, which is molten rock deep within the Earth's core, cools and hardens. There are two types of igneous rocks. There are extrusive igneous rocks, which are created when the magma is shot from the volcano, but it cools very quickly because it's on the outside. This creates rocks that have small or no crystals. Intrusive rocks are rocks that are created when magma is leaked and not released outside of the volcano. This causes rocks to cool slowly under pressure, causing many crystals to form. The first rock we found in San Francisco is called chert, and chert is a rustic red sedimentary rock that can be found on Hawk Hill in the Bay Area. Some of its characteristics are that it has small quartz crystals and can be found in horizontal
layers of horizontal and vertical lines with clay in between them. Chert can also be found on Billy Goat Hill. Another rock we found is an igneous gray speckled rock known as pill basalt that can be found in the bay and at Bonita Point. The third rock we found was a green metamorphic rock that is almost entirely made up of crystals called serpentine. Serpentine is one of the rarest rocks to be found near the surface of the earth. Serpentine could also be found in Marshall Beach. Greywacke is a rock that can be found in many places in the Bay Area and has a gritty texture and also has a layered salt and pepper appearance given that it is a sedimentary rock. This rock can be found in Fort Mason, Coit Tower, Billy Goat Hill, and SF Art Institute. Shale is a sedimentary rock that can be found in Hawk Hill and Canho Beach. It has no visible grains with a smooth and shiny surface. Some shale in SF contain shells of single-celled organisms that are up to 5 centimeters long. Greenstone is a metamorphic rock that can be found on Billy Goat Hill. It is a green, non-foliated, fine-grained rock. In class, we learned about the Pangea era. The Pangea era is a time approximately 335 million years ago in which all the continents were stuck together. Around 175 million years ago, the continents started to split apart over time. This created large gaps between the continents, which was filled by the ocean. During the Pangea era, North America was connected to Europe, Asia, Africa, and South America. Over the course of our class, we learned about subduction. Subduction is the geological process in which one plate goes underneath the other due to gravity. These two plates are being subducted because when the more dense oceanic plate goes underneath the less dense continental plate, it causes the layers of rocks to recycle. It also creates pressure in the magma under the ground. This pressurized magma will either disperse upwards or create magma chambers. If the magma is released, it will travel upwards to the volcano and will create extrusive igneous rocks. If they are kept in the magma chamber, this will create intrusive igneous rocks that have many visible clear crystals. We also learned about melange, which is a mixture of many types of rocks like serpentine and shale. A trench is created from subduction. When the oceanic, more dense plate goes underneath the less dense continental crust, a large gap between the oceanic crust and the continental crust occurs. This creates a major gap between them, right next to the surface. Accretion is when, during subduction, rocks are scraped off from the plates. The rocks are being eroded and then they fall into a trench for melange. Then it mixes. This causes multiple layers or accretion. In class, we learned what a divergent zone is. A divergent zone is when two plates move away from each other. This causes it to slowly break apart and stretch out until it is fully removed from each other. A fault occurs in a divergent zone. When the two plates are removed from each other, it causes a massive gap between them, or a fault. The 1906 earthquake with a magnitude of 7.7 was created from a divergent zone. The two plates separated from each other, causing a massive fault. In class, we learned about cross-sections, which is a geographical representation of vertical slices through the Earth. We looked at SF and the map and sliced it to figure out its layers. The picture shows the different sections of SF. By looking at the map, you can see the ocean. Next, you can see Lake Merced, and we found Greywacke there. That is tilted northeast. Near Twin Peaks, we found Melange. And at Billy Goat Hill, there was also Melange. At Newman's, we found Serpentine and Greywacke. At Market Street and San Francisco Art Institute, we found Greywacke. And at Coit Tower, we also found Greywacke, but it has a southwest tilting point, unlike the rest. Then there's the bay. Lastly, during our overnight trip to Point Reyes, we saw Pillow Basalt and Chert.